There was no warehouse, no factory. There was no physical product at all, just a number on a screen, but worth real money. And in less than 18 months, criminals had turned that number into the fastest €5 billion heist in European history. No guns, no masks, just a keyboard and a tax loophole nobody was watching. This is the financial shadows. 2005, Europe launches an experiment. It's called the EU Emissions Trading System. The idea is simple, even elegant. Every polluting company is given a limited number of carbon credits. Each credit allows them to emit 1 ton of carbon dioxide. If a company pollutes less, it ends up with extra credits. It can sell them. If a company pollutes more, it needs more credits. It has to buy them. Pollution now has a price tag, and that price tag can be bought, sold, speculated on, just like oil, gold, or currency. By 2009, this market has reached a value of over $125 billion. But that's exactly where the problem begins. A barrel of oil is real. You can see it, touch it, ship it on a tanker. A carbon credit is not. It's just a number in a government database. Nothing more. And numbers in a database can be moved very, very fast. Somewhere in Europe, a small group of men is about to notice something the regulators overlooked. A crack in the foundation. Quiet, almost invisible, but wide enough to push €5 billion through. To understand this crime, you need to know just one rule, just one. Inside the European Union, if you sell something to a buyer in another EU country, you don't charge sales tax. It's called VAT, value added tax, and it's designed to prevent the same product from being taxed twice as it crosses a border. But if you sell that same product inside your own country, you charge VAT, and whoever collects that tax is supposed to hand it over to the government. Supposed to, yes. Here's what the fraudsters figured out. Buy carbon credits from a seller in another country, tax-free. Sell those same credits to a buyer in your own country and add the tax. Then disappear. Before the government ever sees a single cent of that tax money. Investigators would later call this a carousel, because the credits don't stop after one trip. They go around again. New company, same credits, same trick. With every spin of the carousel, more tax collected, more tax stolen. And because carbon credits are invisible, no trucks, no shipments, no warehouses to inspect, the fraud could move at the speed of a mouse click. One trader later told a journalist that it was, in his own words, easier than sending an email. In Paris, a small network of traders sets up shop. Some already have criminal records, fraud, forged documents, even drug trafficking. They build shell companies, paper entities, names in a registry, nothing behind them. One of these companies will later move carbon credits equivalent to 65 million tons of emissions. That's the same volume traded by Deutsche Bank, the same as Société Générale's. A handful of men with laptops and fake invoices are now operating at the scale of Europe's biggest financial institutions. Every trade runs through an exchange called Blue Next, the beating heart of Europe's carbon market. Nobody at the exchange is committing the fraud. They're just the pipe the money flows through. And the pipe doesn't ask where the water came from. And it isn't only small-time crooks profiting. Internal messages later uncovered by investigators show employees at major global banks, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, Citibank, buying these very same credits. One trader writes a message to a colleague about the scheme. The words, roughly, "This whole VAT thing is troubling. It might really be a scam." Then trading continues. The summer slowdown never comes. Instead, trading volume explodes. For months, the fraud runs quietly. Billions move through the system. Tax offices across France are drowning in refund requests. Far too many, far too fast, for something that's supposed to be rare. Then, on June 8th, 2009, Blue Next shuts down. Just for 2 days. No public panic, no headlines screaming fraud, just a quiet statement, a change in how tax is charged on carbon credits. But everyone inside the market reads between the lines. Within a week, the Netherlands closes the same loophole. The fraud doesn't stop. It just moves. Like water finding a new crack in the wall. It flows into the United Kingdom, where the loophole is still wide open. Then Germany, then Italy. The criminals stay one step ahead. Crime moves in seconds. Policy moves in months. By the time every door closes, the damage is done. Europol's total, €5 billion. One of the fastest frauds in European history. April 2010. Dawn raids hit Germany. 230 offices searched. Deutsche Bank's Frankfurt office is among them. 7 employees prosecuted. The bank repays over €140 million. The London traders who moved it across borders, never charged. The shell companies? Liquidated. The money? Gone. Lawyers are still chasing what's left. A decade later. This was never about carbon. It's an old pattern. Build a fast, lightly watched market, and someone is already hunting for the seam. The same trick later resurfaced. In phones, in laptops, even AirPods. Same crack, different disguise. The faster a market grows, the slower regulators catch up. In that gap, fortunes are made and stolen in silence. Nobody built this market to be stolen. Nobody built it to be safe either. That gap is where every financial shadow is born. Would you have caught it in 2009 or missed it like everyone else? Tell us in the comments. This video is for educational and historical storytelling purposes only. It is not financial advice.